Okay, can I talk about probably what I think is probably the most stellar event I was ever involved with the Rockies. I think it was 2001. We were coming from Boulder, going up to Estes Park, and I knew it was going to be a strange day, a strange year. Because at 8 o'clock in the morning, we're having thunder showers in Boulder, which is right up next to the foothills, and not unusual, but not very common either, especially at that time of the morning. Close down the baggage, get out on the route, and we're going up Left-Hand Canyon, and this lady flags me down, says she's not feeling well. So I kind of check her out. We've been trained in first aid and CPR, warning signs, stuff like that there. I didn't think that she was doing very good, so I went and called for the ambulance, one of the ambulances to come up, and the paramedics went and took her off my hands, as per se, and was taking care of her. Later on that night, I found out that she'd been admitted into the hospital and she was having heart problems. So, erred on the erred on the side of judgment, whatever you want to say. I called it. I told her I didn't think it was good for her to ride, and so may have saved someone's life. And later on that day, I found it started raining, and it started raining big time. And the cyclists are out there, and they got a little windbreaker, shorts, hat, sunglasses, helmet, sunglasses. Not very much protection against heavy rain, so scrambled into action with the 15-passenger van. And it's raining like cats and dogs, and I'm on the roof of the vehicle, and people are handing me up their bicycles, and I'm putting them on the racks and stuff. And then I'm realizing that there's lightning strikes within a mile, maybe a mile and a half of me. I'm soaking wet. I'm on top of a metal van, and I got a metal button on the top of my head from the hat I was wearing. Talk about motivating me about getting it all cleaned up and getting everybody loaded up. I think I went out 2 times, just got literally soaked. We get in Estes Park and we look up towards Trail Ridge, because that's where we were going, over Trail Ridge, 12,000 foot. Beautiful, beautiful up there. But it was like purple up there, just dark, dark storm clouds. So at our nightly meeting, we got the warning that things might not go as planned, so be prepared. So at 4:30, we all get a wake-up call, and we go down, and Paul and the crew has told us that Trail Ridge is closed, that they got 8 inches of snow on the summit up there. No way and bicycles are going to go through it. Okay. Panic. But Paul had it all under control. He sent groups out with flyers to for anyone that had a bicycle rack on their car. We would pay for their gas to help us transport the people to the next town. I went to the restaurants, all the motels, to inform the cyclists that the route was closed, and then you did go over to the high school to get the final information on what we're going to do. We got our assignments. We all go over to the high school, and it is like panic pandemonium over at the high school. Not only is there 2 inches of mud, soaked, grumpy cyclists, but they've heard rumors that the staff was just going to go off and leave them, and they're going to have to find out a way on their own to get to the next town, which was totally a lie. But you know how rumors spread through situations like that, and you're talking 2,500 people soaking wet. We show up and we get mobbed, and Paul informs the cyclists that there was 3 semi-trailer trucks from the Denver Post for the bicycles, along with the 3 we had for the baggage. But they also brought up, I believe there was like 19 or 20 tour buses, and everybody was being transported. So that means we had to go from Estes Park, which was supposed to go over Trail Ridge to Granby. Now we had to go back through Boulder, up I-70, over Berthoud Pass, and into Granby, all by vehicle. Pretty daunting task, but that was all accomplished with 2 phone calls, because Paul had the plan preset just in case the worst scenario happened, and which it did. Okay, I'm driving the 15-passenger van. I'm the first one to load up. I grab 7 people, their bags and their bikes, and we hop off and just cruise on over. About an hour and a half, 2 hours later, pulled into Granby. As we went over Berthoud Pass, there was these big, huge summer snowflakes just come floating down, and they were melting when they'd hit the sidewalk or the pavement. But on the summit, it was sticking. I get into Granby. These guys, we had a great time, man. Stories, laughing back and forth. I get their bikes unloaded, and this is totally unnecessary, but when I hop back in the vehicle, there's like $50 in cash laying on my seat. They had tipped me for bringing them. They didn't have to do that, but they weren't around for me to say no. And so I stopped and bought me a really good, nice breakfast before I went back and got my second load. Well, on the way back, most of the rest of the tour group had picked up all their people, and some of the tour buses and stuff were starting to come up. So there's this big, long caravan of Ride the Rockies vehicles and tour buses and stuff all going up over to Granby. It was a pretty daunting sight to see from the other side as they're going up just how long it was. And it was really neat because they all stayed together and they were talking back and forth on the radios and stuff like this here, trying to make it have a good time. I make it back to Estes Park. I guess it's probably maybe around 12:30, 1 o'clock. They pull me out of my vehicle, give me a massage, let me sit down and watch about a half hour of a movie, and boom, got my keys, loaded up with 14 people, and went on back to Granby for my second trip. Now, most of the other staff members in their vehicles, they only had to make 1 trip. I had to make 2 trips, and I think a couple of the buses had to make a second trip back too. But by 4 o'clock that afternoon, we had like 2,200 or 2,300 people on the ground with their bags, bikes, and safely in Granby by 4 o'clock. I refer to it as the Big Sag. Probably one of the most impressive things I've been involved with. I was really, really impressed and really proud to have been involved with it. Like I said, I've been involved with Ride the Rockies for 23 years. I thoroughly loved it. I've seen many parts of Colorado that I wouldn't have been able to see, but a lot of Colorado I've seen multiple times. But it's still just as beautiful. So I think this is probably it for the Ride the Rockies, and I will come up with some other fine stories for you guys in the future. Thank you.